I don't think there was a movie that did that before.
Mr. Anderson. You got my packet?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Surprised to see me?
No.
Then you're aware of it.
Of what?
Our connection.
I think that they were, again, revolutionary in these kind of like action fight movie beyond the kung fu and all that jazz.
Yeah, which I still think is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, revolutionary, right?
I don't want to talk about Matrix Revolutions a lot.
Even though we're saying revolutionary, but they
that never had to be made. The Machine. No, that one was not good.
The only cool scene from that last movie that really was like, oh, that's cool, is when Agent Smith uploaded himself to that one character when he came into the real world.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Neo saw him as Agent Smith through his skin. It was kind of far-fetched, but it was still pretty cool. It was cool to see his face.
See, that's the thing about that third one, is that it was so far-fetched.
Yeah.
Everything else before was like, okay, this is sort of possible. Then all of a sudden, he loses his sight, but yet he can still see the code. Oh, come on.
You know what? Yeah, like, for me, I found it almost the third one from, whatever, halfway through high school perspective, it was a little hard to follow. Whereas the first two, I was able to follow it completely because it made sense, right? Like, it is complicated ideas when you think about it, but the first two movies, they totally made sense. The first one laid it all out for you. The second one, you lived it. The third one, they started adding new ideas that, yeah, they were so far-fetched that they didn't exactly fit with what was going on.
I think the problem was, how do you wrap this up? Like,
by just doing one movie that did wrap it up, like you said.
I know.
That would have been good.
Thing. They already wrapped it up. They kind of gave it that movie ending.
Imagine the classic it would have been, how more excited we would be. Like, would it be on the level of Star Wars to us if there had only been one?
If they would have conceived this problem, actually it wasn't the conception. The original movie was amazing. If they would have thought it out, this would have been like almost Star Wars level.
Well, yeah, it has unlimited all the pieces to.
It's unlimited.
It's unlimited. You can just go on forever with it.
Digital, anything digital.
Digital, exactly. You can introduce anything because anything's possible.
Yeah.
Much
but
like Star Wars, where the universe is endless, you can introduce anything you want.
Yeah.
But not to drive way too much. Just in general, definitely watch the first Matrix. Check out the second one. Watch the third one if you like. We've already warned you.
Like, if you want to just complete it and say you've watched the trilogy, watch the third one.
And then you can
seriously,
bitch like
don't
us.
come to me and ask for that 2 hours back when I already warned you that it does not do the series justice.
But if it's possible for you, do it like my friend Dan and I did it, and do it while drinking Jolt Cola, and then play a game of NHL. I'm going to just take a stab at this and say 04, I don't know. And then watch a simulated game of NHL 04, because there's a hockey lockout going on, and you're so desperate to watch some hockey at that time in your life. Do all of those things in one night, and you will live the life through Brian's eyes.
That's awesome.
So, definitely a huge recommendation from us to watch.
Yeah.
And we'll go into our next segment.
Cell phone app of the week.
So, yes, cell phone app of the week. And I'm also excited about this app because, well, we all are. We all use this app. It's a very handy app. The app is called Zedge. It's available for the iPhone and Android.
Z-E-D-G-E. I remember somebody told it to me orally, and I was confused about what the heck they were talking about. Z-E-D-G-E.
Zedge.
Zedge.
And what Zedge is it's an application where you can download ringtones, wallpapers, wallpapers, games, and notification apps.
It's kind of like
an all-in-one shop.
Not Google Play.
Yeah.
Yes. Google Play unlocked.
Anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool though. It's nice and quaint. Like it's simple to use.
I have two wallpapers on my S3. My main home one is Link riding Epona in Hyrule in front of the castle. And then my home screen, or not my home screen, my lock screen is a stormtrooper coming out of a white keyboard. So giving the impression that that's where stormtroopers come from. Keyboards. He pushes the key out and he's like, hey, I'm out of here. What's up, dog? This kind of thing. So I got a couple of ringtones. I've got Ewok voices and stuff. I can't give this app enough praise. It is just a really cool app. Brian, what do you have? What have you downloaded from Zedge that you use on your phone?
Well, mine's a frustrating story. My first thing I found on Zedge that I fell in love with was the Zelda secret sound. Like, I listened to it, and I'm like, man, that pings out over every other sound you hear in a room. You can hear it no matter what. It's a great sound to have for a text message sound. So I threw it on there until we went to our friend Seb's bachelor party, where Andy and I met. And turns out Seb, the bachelor, had the same ringtone.
It's true.
Oh.
I remember this now.
Yeah, and so being the non-bachelor at the time, well, was a bachelor at the time, but having to concede to the man of the hour, I decided to download my own separate ringtone, and I found the Pokemon Level Up ringtone,
Nice.
which I know you noticed the other day at your party is still my ringtone for
That's
text
awesome.
messages,
That's
and
awesome.
I love it. I was able to find Tub Thumping, the song, I get knocked down, but I get up again, which is my best friend Kyle and my favorite song because we danced to it at his wedding, and literally the dance is we fall down on the ground, hurt ourselves, get back up again, and pray that the song will end soon because I was bleeding from my thumb, and it was a bad scene.
Oh,
But yeah, so whenever he calls, I got that. I have the Hockey Night in
Thumping.
Canada song. I have all sorts of great songs. You can find almost anything you want in small audio clip form, perfect for messages or cell phone calls.
Perfect for perverted or non-perverted.
Exactly.
Because you got your pictures of your girls in bikinis on there too. Your Jessica Albas, your Jessica Biel.
Yes, it pertains to all markets, right? If
Jessica
you need
Rabbit.
bikini pics, they're there too.
Jessica Rabbit.
Just me shaking my head. Guys being guys.
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum.
Spitting in the bucket.
Yeah, that's a good app.
So yeah, we all like the app. And this will lead us now into our next segment.
Steam Deal of the Week.
Like David Bowie saying that.
Can we do a whole episode? Can we do just a whole episode of
We have to get, hopefully a fan will take every single one we've done and do like a mashup.
Oh, cool.
You know
That's
what would be
hilarious.
amazing? If that ended up being a ringtone for messages on Zedge.
Oh.
Then you know you've made it.
So Steam deal.
We're going to bang through these deals real fast.
Real
The
quick.
first one is the Game of Thrones Special Edition on Steam right now. It's currently 75% off for a whopping $7.49. I have the game on the Xbox 360. It came with a leather case and all that jazz. It's just this, whatever you watched on the TV, the show, or read, more or less is the game with all the characters and the rendered faces and stuff like that. The next game is Castlevania. So I can barely make that. Lords of Shadow. Am I reading that right, Brian?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, great. And this game is 10% off. So instead of paying $29.99, you can pay $26.99. Wow.
Can't.
What a deal.
That is like, just punch me in my face
It's on sale.
and make my nose bleed.
Yeah.
But Castlevania, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Solid series, can't go wrong. Oh, wait, Simon's Quest.
Wait, if you took my blood from my nose, then we could donate that to get more money to put down
For
on this.
Guardians of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we can move to that one too.
Which
'cause-
is
April
also,
edition.
also 10% off.
And this game actually looks really cool. I'm not saying I'm not bashed Castlevania, but I'm pretty big Lord of the Rings fan up there with Matrix. And there's the two versions of Guardians of Middle Earth. There's the original game, and then there's also the Middle Earth Mithril edition.
$72.
Oh, that's a steal, man.
That is very expensive.
Wow.
That better be amazing.
I could almost buy a Wii. No, I don't want to do that.
No, you don't wanna
do that.
That's a bad investment.
But that is it's Mithril edition, it's gold edition, basically, as if the rest of the world would call it. Like, the regular $17.99 version is more reasonable if you want to jump into it, maybe. You might end up paying more money in the end for all the expansions. But maybe you don't want all the expansions, right?
That's
Maybe
true.
you don't want the whole package. So that's a much more reasonable way to dip your toes into this game if it's something
Ooh.
you're interested in.
Well, I read online about the Guardians of Middle Earth Mithril edition. A lot of people bought it because you can't break the game. It's made of Mithril.
Oh, nice.
So they took hammers to it. They put fire on it, and the thing wouldn't break. So it's got to be why it's worth more money. It's made of Mithril. I just like to hear that game grind in the reader.
Oh, man.
And there's one pretty well free. It's called Dino Horde. All week is 75% off. You're looking at till about August 26th, and it's $3.74, which is really cheap. Don't know anything about the game, just saw a dinosaur and I saw a cheap price, so I said, it's a Steam deal.
It is a Steam deal. This is the Steam deal of the week.
Throw it up.
You know what?
Steam.
I just want to point out that you say that it is the 75% off ends on August 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now, this is something everybody needs to be made aware of if you're not already. That when Steam puts up a deal and says it's going to be over on this date, they pick an arbitrary time during that
really?
day. It is not usually midnight of that day. The Steam deal that we were talking about last week, that was the big Steam. The big package that we were talking about that was 75% off.
Oh, okay.
The QuakeCon package.
Yeah,
it was over at was it 1 o'clock Eastern time? And I was panicking, or 1 or 2 o'clock, I forget. But that was the time that was over, right? It wasn't midnight, like anywhere in North America. Sure. It was not midnight. So they pick a time based on whatever they want. Maybe they do have a reason for that, but there's a
guy sitting there with a button, and he's just circling his finger around it.
It's a big spin wheel. They throw a dart at a board, and they're like, okay, 4 o'clock.
Start over again.
Just wait. Just ring around the rosy. And bam, cancel.
I just got paid $30,000 to wash my finger around. All right, so we're going to move into our next segment now.
The flooded port.
That's right. So, one of our links was brought to you by Andrew. He didn't actually do the video.
That's not me in the video. I have
it's pretty close, though, buddy.
He has no talent compared to me. I'm just kidding. This guy is phenomenal. He dances to dubstep like, I don't know that this is like a real dance, but if there was a dance to dubstep, this would be it. This guy has done many videos in the past, a lot of Foster the People remixes, dubstep remixes.
Well, this one's a remix of someone that I used to know.
This is Gautier?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dancing to
okay, well, the other videos that he does is a remix to Foster the People, like Pumped Up Kicks.
Oh, that's good song.
So he's done that before, too. But this one, he just keeps getting better. He did a little crew thing before, like he had people like come in and out and all that jazz. But this one, he does the whole thing himself. It is, quote me, next level, end quote.
I thought he was stopping the camera, but it was like all one fluent thing. I'm like, there's no way a human being can be that fluent.
5 minutes, I think. I'm pretty sure it's about 5 minutes long. He does the whole... Now, mind you, he's probably practiced... Who knows? Maybe this is all live. Maybe this is just winging it. I have no clue. But it doesn't matter, because halfway through that, I had to stand up and say, this guy is ridiculous, and sit back down. I don't know. You have to watch it. You just have to watch it.
Experience it.
You won't ask for your money back.
You have to go to YouTube, type in dubstep dancing, and it gets taken to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Or click on the link that we're going to post down below.
We will post the link down below. We'll do that this time.
Using the old technology.
Yeah. You hear my voice and you follow it. Run to your fridge and make me a sandwich. No. Okay, so we're going to go on to our second link. This one's brought to you by me. It's a little older, but it's still hilarious. I don't know if everyone's seen it or not. It's the spitting goat. There's a Mexican guy talking to this goat.
Zapatero, ¿qué opina usted del gobierno de Zapatero?
Who appears to be understanding him. And then, like, he fakes it by doing, like, an sound, and it just snots all over his face.
I think the noises are funnier than the snot.
Just snot, and you can see his nostrils open up, and they're thick. Because some of them are like you can hear them hit his face. He's like, like, I don't know what I'm not I wasn't racist. I don't know what he's saying.
It was a little bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's sticking his tongue out. Ah!
It was a great laugh, right? Like that was a belly laugh that I had when you showed me that. That's just what I want. I need that once a day at least.
It's almost as good as a screaming goat, but
it's up there. Check both out.
Yeah.
And we'll have a link down for that one too. Our last little link here for the flooded port is our own new show on the GeekConfig channel. It's the Console Questers featuring Andy and I.
Da 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 da.
Ding, ding.
This is our first episode of the Console Questers, patent pending. This is Chris and I chasing our video games.
Chasing our dreams.
Chasing our dreams. And it's our first episode. Take it with a grain of salt, but I also want to know anything and everything that you have to say.
Yeah, we need more feedback because we really want to mold this. Like, obviously, we want to be really proud of it, but we want to make something that's ultimately good for the viewer.
Yeah, it's for the fan, right?
Us, yeah. And we really like going around chasing the older games and then collecting them, not reselling them. The only time
That's a good point. Can you say that again?
We're not reselling.
We're not resellers.
Let me get an echo. We're not reselling.
Yeah, this is for our own personal collection. It's going in our game rooms. We play them whenever our adult lives allow us. And,
Keep being a grown up.
Yeah, I know. No, this does wonders for us and all of our friends.
You know, and what I encourage people to do, if you see a game that's rare that you already have, pick it up anyways. Have a double, trade with your friends or with another person.
Yeah.
You can use that as trade bait, and you're not a reseller for doing that because you're just taking something that you already have that's rare, and you're looking for something else that's rare that's equal value. Because a lot of the time with the resellers, you're just, it doesn't even matter what the game is. It could be the crappiest game but worth $100.
That's right.
You got to come out with them with money. Okay, how much is your game worth? They don't even care. They don't even really look at the name of it. It's just like, how much is it worth? If it's not enough, or they think you're lying or something, they'll just look it up anyways and just.
It's too bad because it takes the fun out of the experience.
It extracts it.
That's right. And you know what? It's easy to get caught up in it, right? Like it happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I started thinking that way too. I found a copy of Pokemon Emerald for $1. And I'm like, man, if I have this at home, like, you know, frig, I'm going to make a whole bunch of money off of it, blah, 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 blah. And I was way more excited when I got home to find out I don't already own this, and neither does my fiance. That's great news. Now I have this other game for my collection. And that got me thinking afterwards, like, why would I want to be doing all this reselling? Like, that turns it into a business. Like, I don't care about the profit. I want the games. I want to fill my shelf.
See, that's the whole point to this video and videos to come is it's not about the profit. We do look up the price only because it's a rarity thing and just to see the deal that we did get. But that's our whole focus is to get the games, and there's so many out there you can't chase them all. But sometimes you do say, what a great steal. Maybe it might not be your favorite game.
We want to share that moment with you.
Yeah.
That is what we're shooting for.
Send me an offer to trade me a game if you see something you like too, right? Yeah. That's what we do. That's our thing.
Any game you guys are looking for, if when you're watching our videos, just send us a message, say what game you're looking for. If we have it, we'll send you a message back, and then we can swap lists and say, maybe we could trade this for that, and we can really just go from there.
Yeah, because sooner than later it's gonna be slim pickings around here.
Yep.
So we're gonna do a little adventuring in our next upcoming episodes.
And Brian also will be featured on an upcoming episode too.
That's correct.
We went to a flea market.
You were filming me?
Yes, you are in it.
You signed the paper, didn't you?
Oh, I don't remember.
We're going to pause the frame just on you and then zoom right in on your eye.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's my best feature. I'm not going to lie. I like they're crystal blue. They're just
His
great.
eyes tell a story.
You know who else has really awesome eyes?
Oh, man. Let's go into our next segment because that was that was really good. So our next segment is...
The Flicker.
That's right. Our next segment is the Flicker. And we're talking about this week. How excited can we get about each segment now? Because this is ridiculous. Each segment.
This is actually a really good lineup.
Yeah, because we were in back-to-back jacks.
It's
like how I get so excited just to do the podcast. My birthday was this week, and I was more excited to do the podcast than for my birthday.
That's
Brian
awesome.
seems like the type, like, he's wearing no socks and his toes are just going like piano keys, like you're playing piano underneath the table, because he's so excited. That's the equivalent of a dog wagging his tail at Brian with his toes.
The saddest moment was yesterday when our internet, both here and where Brian is.
My heart was broken.
You sounded so sad when you couldn't talk to us.
It's like someone took your Atari and just broke it over their knee and said, "Here, sit."
You mean the $20 Atari 2600 that I bought the other day?
Yeah,
that will
that
be
one.
featured on our upcoming episode 2.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, the movie that we're talking about that's coming out very soon.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Is Riddick, and
this is the third installment of the Riddick.
So excited! September 6th.
I don't want to call it. I'm going to call it series.
Yeah,
because it's not really a trilogy. They never really wrapped it up.
It's currently a trilogy, but there might be more.
Yeah, September 6th. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks so yummy.
Yeah.
It does.
And I mean yummy in the sense of like the storyline and the characters, not Vin Diesel.
I don't know about that.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah. Shine the old ball head there.
Vin Diesel, who, if people aren't aware, I know the three of us enjoy the odd game of D&D. Vin Diesel is also a big D&D fan.
Yep.
And I want to give a shout-out to a podcast that I have discovered recently. It's called Nerd Poker. Brian Posehn, comedian and actor and writer, comedy writer for a lot of TV shows, including Mr. Show, I believe he was a main writer for. He and some of his friends play D&D for a podcast.
Oh, nice.
And they have a campaign going right now, this is no joke, to try to get Mr. Vin Diesel to come on one of their episodes to play a character with them.
That'd be neat.
Wow. I will definitely assist their cause.
Yep, absolutely. There's a Facebook page, I believe they mentioned on their podcast, that you can go and like and share and comment and everything to try to get Vin Diesel up there. And since Brian Posehn is, reasonable celebrity, he's also working on trying to get him in there.
And his name's Brian, and then your name is Brian. So it's just wow, you guys are.
That's a direct connection right there.
Yeah, we pretty much Google him, and that's exactly what I look like.
Google our Brian's eyes and Google his eyes.
So back in 2000, when Vin Diesel first did Pitch Black, we thought that was awesome.
Crazy
that was crazy good.
Yeah.
Like, they did it very well. It was new to us, like, just that type of character. In a way, he's superhero-esque, just in his abilities and his little polished eyes. But for the most part, it was just a great standalone feature. To which Brian just sent us a picture
of that Brian
posing. That's phenomenal.
Now you know who he is, eh? Now you recognize him.
Yeah, I do.
You didn't know who he was before.
Kind of talks like this. This goes on about different type of things.
So they did Pitch Black back in 2000, and then I think it's 2004 when they released the Chronicles of Riddick, which I think was a bigger hit than Pitch Black, because I think it was just a bigger blockbuster movie.
It was marketing at the time. I remember more about it than I heard about Pitch Black, right? Yeah. Vin Diesel was a thing at that point. Vin Diesel was big news at that time.
Was that because of Fast and Furious?
Triple X 2.
Oh, both of those
are huge.
Yeah, with featuring Rammstein in that awesome scene in Europe. Man, I love that. Yeah. Never I do enjoy Rammstein. But now that I've gone to see them live, I'm going to listen to them on my albums from now on, because I was terrified out of my mind at that concert. Like, I'm clearly too much of a wuss to handle that. Like, I saw everything that I only thought was in movies. Every drug, every body part, everything. It was terrifying.
That's your rate here.
So 13 and a half years later, Riddick is still going strong.
The games were fun, too.
Everything about it was awesome. Yep. The comic books, the little short anime that I kind of did some research and found out there was a 30-minute little Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury anime standalone feature released just after the Chronicles of Riddick movie, I guess, to follow up with the fame, I guess. but the storyline's awesome. It actually has a small following. I don't know. I don't want to say small, but the comic books are out there, the video games are out there, the movies are still popular. It's nice that the same director is doing this one too, Tony Tui. He also did. Everybody loves Waterworld. That's
cool.
Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I don't know, this guy's just got a great mind. So he directed and writes the Riddick series, and the trailer looks phenomenal.
Guys,
it's
check out the
so
trailer.
typical of Riddick, just the way it is.
Yeah,
Badass.
you've got these
Badass.
aliens. They look almost like aliens from Aliens, and then
It looks almost like the same ones from Pitch Black, actually. The way that the whole
Their heads have
in
that
the dark, and they got like that poisonous.
yeah.
It just has that same feel. And I personally like Pitch Black a little bit more than Chronicles of Riddick. I'm not sure why, but I think I just side with Pitch Black. It's just a little bit more, and it has that same feel to me. The new one does, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so definitely everyone should check that out. And now we're going to go into the meat of our show. The next topic is...
Group discussion topics.
So yes, group discussion topics. We've got 4 interesting discussions. And we're going to start off with virtual gaming. Seems to be a somewhat hot topic right now. Is this generation ready? Are we ready for it? Or is technology not quite there? Brian, what's your thoughts?
Well, okay, I've downloaded lots of games for Steam. I've downloaded a game virtual console, right, for the 3DS, different ideas, right? Virtual gaming being in those terms, right? Where everything is virtual, not hard copies of things, right?
Yes.
So far, I'm not getting the same feeling that I did from retro games, right? I'm not getting the same feeling that I even get from 360 games, right? I feel like the Steam deal of the week last week. I mentioned last week I wanted to pick it up. Ended up getting the F1 racing game, and I played it and everything, but you know what? I don't have a game. I have something to play on my computer, but I don't have a game.
It sits there in the cloud.
Exactly, right? Upsetting. And it's the cloud that I guess bugs me for whatever reason. It does bug me. I bought some music off of iTunes, and I'd rather have a CD like we talked about last week.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The virtual world bugs me a little bit, a world I can't touch, right? So virtual reality gaming, right? Like an idea, the holodeck, Tron, exactly. Am I going to be
catch on?
it's so exciting, that kind of idea, but am I going to enjoy it? Do I want to play virtual? Do I want to play virtual volleyball, or do I want to go play volleyball and play video games where I control Mario, right?
I got an enticing idea for you guys. So let's say an investor purchases a small warehouse and splits it up into 8 rooms, okay? And then these 8 rooms are pretty large, and they say, here, put this on to each person, a headset, okay? And in this entire room, okay, you can walk around, but they've made it so you can't walk into one of the walls. So you're actually traveling in this room, and you're moving around as if you're actually in the game, and all these 8 people can interact with each other. Now, would that be something that's like, oh man, I'd love to try that? Do you think it's possible for us to even do it now, and then have them all simultaneously connected into one video game where they're either, like an action adventure, or just like a fighting game? You could have like a huge brawl where you just have these people, almost like an 8-player MMA where everyone's just thrown into a ring and just flying at each other.
I think there has to be a disconnect. That's just me. There has to be a disconnect between reality and virtual reality. And I think that virtual reality should be in your television. It should live inside of your television and should never exit into the real world. That's just my own take.
You're holding on, and I totally respect that because I'm the same way. You want something left to the imagination.
Well, I think it's friggin' dangerous to be putting this stuff out there, to physically be, doing the actions of this video game. And what if it becomes too real? What if people can't decipher between after
what's
Whoa.
That's
The
hard.
Matrix.
Well, I mean, it's like what are you literally going to be putting on, quote unquote? Are you just be putting on I'm just dropping names. Google Glass. Are you going to be putting on this headset that is just going to give you a visual stimulation, and maybe transform what you do see in this, this theoretical warehouse that you've made? What the hell's the joy of that? For me, that's just me. That's my take. I haven't seen it. I don't think it'll ever catch on. I think that games are going to be inside of screens forever. But that's me inside the box, not thinking outside of it.
That's right. I want us to bookmark the time, whatever the time is in this podcast, so that our kids can listen to this. Just like, my dad before me, computers, those things will never catch on, right? Like, is this one of those moments? Is it?
Could be. I don't know.
We don't know. But I agree with you,
Can't see
buddy.
it.
Like, I completely agree with you. It scares me. Like, I'd rather, is it going to be virtual drinking a beer? Where I sit in my room and I'm transported to a place where I pretend to drink a beer. That sucks.
I think it's dangerous when you start putting visual things overlapping into the real world, and it gives you, here's the local Starbucks, or and then all of a sudden, or what if they made a game that's like a dinosaur could pop out of nowhere, but you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you get freaked out and jump on the street and get hit by a car.
Yeah.
It's like one first step in that is Google Earth and Google Street View, right? Being able to go right down into it. My buddy and I were clicking around downtown London not 3 weeks ago, and we were kind of having fun. We played a game. We just popped down downtown London. We tried to find our way to Big Ben. Right?
Nice.
And that's what it felt like, right? It feels like this terrible picture quality, whatever, but it still felt like, man, we're actually seeing what you'd see there.
So I think there'll be different applications. Applications. I don't think gaming's going to pick on, I don't think gaming is going to go that route, but there will definitely be certain applications. I don't know what they're going to be.
If I could be with you two in 2 rooms beside me, and then us 3 be immersed into a world where we're fighting giants and stuff, and each one of our characters, we select our character, and then in our mind we're looking at our body and seeing our hands, and if I'm an archer, I would
you're an avatar at that point.
If I'm seeing a quiver on my back and then my bow's in my hand and I'm actually doing all the actual movements to shoot an arrow, and then if you're a tank and I see you running in with your club and shield, I would think that's awesome.
Okay, but the idea is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
But
to
it's
take
dangerous.
that out of a screen and actually live that experience, knowing that it's a game, as long as you can still decipher that you are in a game and you're immersed into the game, very friggin' cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's possible yet.
Okay, so I like that. You say you're kind of not afraid, but it's a scary idea for it to be in the real world, but within Gene Roddenberry's holodeck where we could do it, that's cool. Or in some sort of situation where Chris says, we get put into avatars, right? That's kind of cool. The problem with Gene Roddenberry's holodeck is, Moriarty will come out and try to take over the Enterprise, which then you got to do this whole triple screw with him thing where he's in a universe within a universe within a universe to be able to stop him.
All the story of triple access.
Hot pockets.
So I don't think virtual gaming is ready now.
Okay, let's go the opposite route on to our next topic.
All right, so should retro games be remastered even if the game itself was epic before? And then we had the examples where we spoke about in this episode, almost called Turtles, but it's DuckTales, and then Turtles in Time, and we got Final Fantasy. These 3 games, which just to sort of use as an example, how do we sit? Do we think retro games should be redone? It's just like movies. Should these be touched even though they were great? Why are we even remastering it?
So we have 3 examples here. We have one that was done already, before, right? With Turtles in Time, and like Brian said, they
failed.
The reviews are very mediocre.
They ruined it, right? They ruined the remaster.
Yeah, I can still play the old one and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Even more because it's that game was embarrassing, but this is still awesome.
But this is what you should have done.
That was
So DuckTales just came out. None of us have played the remastered. So
bad reviews.
But it has bad reviews.
Yeah.
We could probably go do that and actually see for ourselves, but everything starting to point towards another fail.
Yeah.
The other one that I can think of is Is it a remaster? I don't
Which-
know. I can't really. The Final Fantasy 10 and 12 they're going to redo in high definition. Like I don't know if it's going to be new storyline or if it's just literally going to be like upgraded graphics.
If they're going to go through that much work, they should be adding in more, just like they did with the Zelda Master Quest.
I guess.
Why-
Okay, maybe same
I
story.
really
just more
hope they
stuff.
do, and I hope they don't just move stuff. Again, Final Fantasy, huge world. They can do 10 was honestly my favorite Final Fantasy game on the
See,
PS2.
that's the problem. It was your favorite one. What is it going to be now?
Yeah.
What are they going to turn it into? Is it going to be better? I highly doubt it.
Doubt it.
Will it be worse? Quite possible, because you remember the game being solid.
Yeah,
From start to finish, it had everything you needed to do it.
It did.
It was a 10 out of 10, and all of a sudden now they're making it different.
What is it, 5 or 6 years ago, right? Like a
Touching it.
game from 5 or 6 years ago in HD is not a win today, right? And that's always been the way. If you did Mario World in HD, okay, cool concept, but it's
Did,
not.
but we-
But it's not a win as in gameplay and experience-wise. Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what people. I'm not like we would love it. We would die. We would drool. We would pay. I would pay Chris for it, but I don't know how that works. But here, take my Chris. I will take a copy of that Super Mario World.
Yes, you take that and you'll
Yeah,
drink.
it's all
I'll
good.
drink.
You'll drink. Yeah.
But you know
So-
what I mean? Like it's not the same world it was when Final Fantasy X came out.
Also
So-
saturated.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
They're filling a void. There's been so much Final Fantasy hoopla lately. Sorry, not lately. That is so wrong. 2006, they announced the next Final Fantasy. For you, we're coming out with 13 verses.
Yeah.
What's it been now? 7 years later, they recalled it 15, and now they're finally going to put it out
Yeah.
for the next gen console.
And then
So I think they're just doing this to fill, which is really weird because they're releasing at the end of the year. Anyways, I'm not sure what's going to happen.
let's see how
I don't know.
how it
It's
plays
weird.
out.
They're just Final
When the
Fantasy
PS4
throwing more
comes
titles out
and
there
then
again.
The PS3, we'll see if they're going to bring it on both systems or just the one.
Yeah.
Not sure. But the one game that Brian mentioned was Turtles in Time. I'm going to let him totally take this, and I am with him 100% about this game. So you just preach it, brother.
Turtles in Time for the SNES had the gameplay you were just doing. It was, Double Dragon style, walk across from left to right, beat up everybody in your way. If you don't hit everybody off the screen, you can't keep going. You can work co-op with your buddy.
That
You
was
get
the coolest part.
Yeah.
And you got to pick the turtle you wanted, right?
Yeah.
And who didn't fight over Donatello or,
Yeah.
there was always a fight. It didn't matter.
I like the
But-
though.
I got Donatello last night.
Every-
so
see,
I'm
there's
happy.
the thing is everybody
I
wants-
gave you Donatello last
Yeah,
night.
see, and I want Donatello, and so
Yeah,
does my
no,
buddy
you do.
Kyle. So here's the problem: we
That's
all
funny.
wanted Donatello. But okay, so it was great graphics for its time, right? Like it stuck out. It was the colors, it was the sounds. There was great, awesome music. There was great sound effects. The new game. Oh yeah, the graphics were updated, not to this generation. That's
was
for
awesome.
the graphics were not up to this day's graphics, not even close. The sound was changed. Why? I don't know. Like, the sound was fine before. Maybe you could have cleaned it up, remastered it, but you didn't. You changed it. When you got hit, you took different amounts of damage. When you took out enemies, it was different point system, trying to do a competitive ladder system against people online, whatever. Whoever has the most points this month is the best, or whatever. A system like that is totally useless. When the old system, it was if you killed, I think it was basically if you got 100 kills worth of points, you gained an extra continue.
It's
That's
actually
way-
200.
Yeah, that's
We just figured that out.
It was 200 on it. We played the NES version last night. We
Yeah.
played the arcade Turtles.
yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
no, don't redo it. It was a fail. DuckTales, bad idea. Final Fantasy, bad idea. Pokemon, Fire Red, Leaf Green, needed to be done so that we could keep the generations going. But I'm just throwing that one in there as well. But didn't need to be done. I would much rather play the original. Yeah, it's frustrating graphics, whatever, but you know what? That's to me the best version.
Mhm.
So to wrap it up, really, like, no, don't do
Not
it.
necessary.
Not necessary and not wanted by our generation, it seems, because I haven't talked to anybody who wants it. The new generation doesn't feel that nostalgia towards those games, so maybe create awesome new titles. Oh, what a concept. Focus our attention on creating cool new titles and let us old people buy our old games through...
Yeah, let's stick to our own stuff.
That's right.
So,
But yeah, no, like, we already talked on this, so I don't know. Do you have anything to add, guys?
No, that's pretty much it. That the epic games, leave them.
Leave 'em alone.
The crappy ones,
They were
remake
good.
them.
Yeah,
Remake
that's
the crappy ones.
And they're ruining your experience of trying to chase your games.
See, the thing, too, that I do have to add is if the game was so good, then go get it on the old console and find out why it was so good.
Yep.
If you're going to leave it alone and never play it, then you missed, in my opinion, you missed out. And whatever, find another one that you enjoyed.
That's fine. There's millions of titles out there, right? Like, everybody's releasing new games by the minute, right? Forget about it. Go on to the next one.
Think about it? Now forget about it.
Forget about it, stupid.
So we're going to move on to the last topic, which is the Super Mario Bros. Crossover 3.0.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian found this little gem.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is pretty cool.
I got this in a message, and I'm giving a shout out to my buddy Josh, who listened to the first podcast, loved it, and said, "Here, buddy, like, take this. Can you throw this idea to Andy and Chris and see if they'll bite?" So
we chewed on it.
Oh, they chewed on it.
Oh,
they pulled
we
all
are-
over it. They digested it. It was this morning's crap.
So
It was
far.
a great one. Super Mario Bros. Crossover 3.0. You get to select from a whole list of different characters. You get to be Mario if you want. That's great. But you can also pick Marios from different generations, right? You can be different, like, whatever.
Mega Man.
You get to be Mega Man. You get to be Samus. You get to be Link. You get to be Princess Zelda. You get to be whatever. You get to be all these different characters. Not only that, but you can also pick a different skin for the world. It keeps the physics. Now, it's Super Mario Bros., right? Let me get that straight. Super Mario Bros. For the NES. No matter what skin you choose, the levels, the platforms will be the same.
Mhm.
The enemies will be different looking, and you will interact with those enemies the same way your character would. So Samus is not able to jump on whatever the Goomba is in that game. You can't jump on them. You would die if you did that with Samus. So you have to shoot it. So it makes an entirely new game. Play it. You play the game in a totally different way depending on which character you play. And for me, the highlight little detail that they had to put into this, depending on the character you take, which and not just like you can take Samus from original Metroid or Super Metroid or Metroid 2 or Metroid for the Game Boy, whatever, it'll change the music depending on which puts you into the feel of that game, which it just
some work done here, eh?
Yeah, it was
tons of work.
Yeah, that was well done. I really just starting it, no glitches.
Yeah.
Everything was like, they just altered everything. Like, it wasn't just like you'd have a different character run around with. You had a new theme song. You had different guys to fight. The color system's a little bit different for everyone. Your characters is a little bit different. Like, you're either 8-bit or whatever. Like, it's really cool.
And Link was done really well too.
Everybody was just done really well, and it's cool
Done
because
right.
there's so many different flavors of the same like character, I guess.
It's like Andy said. I feel the same way about it. You get all the characters, you get the different ones to pick, and it's just like you're playing this game, but you're also playing your childhood.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
it's
And
like it's like an
rapid
all-in-one,
fire.
right?
Yeah, rapid fire. I enjoyed it.
It's free. It's free.
That's the coolest.
And nobody tell Nintendo.
Yeah, and no one's telling me what time I'm going to bed at.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm not going to bed yet.
that's not happening at all.
I don't.
Burp while you
about
shit.
I'm moving my finger too when I said it. I'm doing like the whole French thing, getting finger. It's awesome. So we're going to move on now to our last segment of our show, which is...
Personal computer tips.
And that's right, PC tip of the week. So we've got something, again, that's very helpful.
Is
for
this
all the-
advanced or is this basic?
This is pretty basic.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah, and everyone at this point should know what defragging your computer is. And I'm also mentioning that you only defrag mechanical drives. And people are going to say, well, how do I know my drive's mechanical? What do I do? Stick your ear to your computer. Stick your ear to your No, well, you probably would hear the drive because it makes a kind of sound. But you could easily just go to open up your computer or your advanced hardware or your device manager, and your hard drive will be located there. You can usually just second click and go properties, and it tells you what type of hard drive you have. But pretty well now, I'm going to say probably about 75% of PCs brand new you buy now still have mechanical hard drives.
Yeah, solid state really hasn't become the default.
It's a lot of the high-end PCs now are selling them.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and they're putting a secondary mechanical drive as your data drive because they're much cheaper to manufacture for companies, and they're larger sizes.
So we'll put a small tutorial up about how to check whether your hard drive is actually mechanical or if it's a solid state hard drive. But the whole purpose here is if you do have a mechanical hard drive, that defragmentation is very, very useful, and I'm pretty sure it falls under the category of necessary.
Yeah, just picture a bunch of Legos being thrown out, and you've got this like tower of Legos built, and what defrag does is it puts all those Legos that are kind of scattered around and puts them all back on the tower where they're supposed to be.
It's the same amount of Legos, but they consume a lot less volume when they're all stacked properly on top of each other.
Yeah, and just
so I understand.
Things just run smoother. So all the runways, everything is just right back together again.
Yeah.
And I've got a cool program I want to recommend to people. It's called Smart Defrag, and you can get it at www.download.com. And the cool thing with this program, and the first thing I want to let you know is that when you install it, go to your, make sure you skip the other install. It'll ask you to install Advanced System Care. Don't install that. Just install Smart Defrag, skip that part. Go to your settings and remove it from startup because you don't really need it at startup. The main feature that I really like that Andy was talking about, having to know what type of drive you have, this program looks at your drive and then lets you know if it can defragment it or not.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it'll actually gray it out in the main window. And,
it's safer that way.
Yeah.
Then.
And then you don't have to look it up.
Well, that's news to me.
And
cool.
When you run this program, it'll say a quick optimize or a long optimize. Always go with the long one. It does take longer, but it's just more performance for your computer. So great little program. It, again, costs nothing, and it speeds your computer up.
This will save you the trip to your local PC fixer-upper guy or store. If your computer is quote-unquote running slow, this is one of the first things you can do to fix it yourself and become self-sufficient.
You don't have to call the network neighbor.
You don't have to call the network neighbor, although he's a good guy.
He wouldn't mind. He wouldn't mind slapping around your hard drive.
This is great free advice that everybody who, either knows a little bit about computers or wants to know a little more about their computer to do.
I just want to make it rain advice.
There you go. This is how you do it.
I'm just throwing it out. So, everybody, that was all our segments, and this was our whole show. We did have to drop one group discussion topic that we'll probably forward to next week. It was the one where, is PC gaming on the brink of existence, or do consoles have complete power now?
Well, stay tuned, right?
Yeah, that'll be next week. I know that one's going to be that's going to be a juicy steak.
Now you got me excited like it's my birthday again.
Like, oh, wait, can you hear his toes?
I can hear.
They're going their way.
He's playing a piano song again.
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah. So anyways, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Again, send all your feedback. We'll have our email listed below. And so long from me and
Andy.
And Brian.
And we'll see you in another couple of weeks. Bye.
Show me a move. Show me a move.